Here.
Matsdorf.
Here.
Binder.
Here.
Penkwitz.
Here.
Gilson.
Here.
Sandy.
Here.
Tauschik.
Here.
Hockey.
Here.
Let the record show we have a quorum. Next is a pledge. Please stand. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Thank you, Alder Tauschek.
Second.
Thank you, Alder Kelvin. Why did I want to say that? Alder Sandy. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll for consent agenda.
Hockey.
Yes.
Sandy.
Yes.
Penkwitz.
Yes.
Matsdorf.
Yes.
Tauschik.
Yes.
Gilson.
Yes.
Binder.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item for the audience portion where the chair recognizes those that sign in. You do the talking, we do the listening. This evening, no one signed in. We certainly appreciate it when people do come and tell us what's on their mind. Item 5 is not needed. No items were removed from the consent agenda. Moving on to item 6, resolution. Resolution number 2, consideration and possible action on a resolution creating tax incremental district number 9, approving its project plan and establishing its boundaries. I'll ask our city administrator, Tim Blakeslee, for a brief comment. Tim?
Sure. So the city is proposing the creation of TID number 9, designated as an industrial district. This district consists of a single parcel on the southeast corner of State Highway 57 and County Road PP. TID 9 is intended to support the new Sargento manufacturing facility, along with a mix of public improvements, including a water main loop, municipal drinking well, wastewater treatment plant infrastructure upgrades, legal and engineering services, financing costs, and administration expenses. TID number 9 project plan is included in attachment 1, and Kayla Thorpe with Ellers will go through that briefly in just a moment. Just as a summary, the manufacturing facility is projected to generate approximately $88.2 million in new incremental value within the district. And as required by state law, the statutory but-for test has been applied and demonstrates that the development as proposed would not occur without the use of TIF. The city is in the process of finalizing the development agreement with Sargento, which is on your agenda shortly. A strategic plan alignment, this does align with outcome of expanded economic development, TIF district utilization expanded, sufficient finances for future needs. At Plan Commission, the Plan Commission did recommend unanimously the Common Council approved TID 9. The Joint Review Board, who is all of the other taxing jurisdictions, provided general feedback on the plan and gave general consensus to proceed. Following council action tonight, the Joint Review Board will discuss further and approve the TID on February 26th. So without further ado, I'll turn it to Kayla for a quick summary of the TID, and then we'll move on from there.
Thank you. Thank you all for having us again. Like Tim mentioned, my name is Kayla Thorpe with Ellers. I'm joined by Paul Bainey, my colleague who has been working along with me and the city team on the creation of not only tax incremental district number 9, but 10 as well, that we'll review as well. Tim gave you the $1 million summary, so I'll just kind of highlight a few other points. Since we're just here creating the TID last year, I'm not going to kind of go through all the legalese that is contained and all the literature contained within the project plan. But just kind of going over those highlights that this district is to facilitate the Sargento plan. It is a single district or single parcel district. We anticipate making total expenditures about $26.5 million over the 20-year life of the district. The majority of those include financing costs for public infrastructure projects related to facilitating the actual plant construction, as well as qualified development incentives to kind of bridge the gap between the internal financing that Sargento could generate on their own and what it is needed to facilitate the project. As Tim mentioned, in return, the city will recognize about $88.2 million in projected new increment. That is new increment. Obviously, this is a vacant parcel, and so that will all be new increment that will go into the district until that district closes, and then when the district closes, that value will come back on the tax line for all taxing jurisdictions. The but-for test is applied here in all of this kind of fun literature here. We did go over this with both the Joint Review Board and the Plan Commission, who sustained the findings of the but-for, that but-for the use of tax incremental financing, this development in its size and scope would not happen. And so we've kind of just outlined that feasibility study here. Just to give you all kind of a refresher of where the property is on the intersection of Highway PP and 57. You were probably seeing some dirt moving around there already, but we are understanding that substantial construction may begin later this spring and early summer. Alright. No, I'm not jumping pages here. I'm going to jump to kind of our increment calculation. Detailed project costs. There are a number of project costs that are allocated to this district and not funded in whole by the district, and there is a major project that we have put in the project plan as a qualified project expense that we are unfunded, and that is the wastewater treatment plant facility upgrade. We know that it's necessary. We've allocated to this. At this time, we're not showing it funded, but it could potentially be funded down the line should it be necessary to improve it to the scale that is currently expected. But a new well, a new drinking well, a water main loop, sanitary force main, the facilities plan are all allocations in the tertiary effluent filtration system are not covered in whole by this district or the other district that we'll be discussing tonight, but are allocated appropriately amongst the users of those utilities and then these two project plans as a whole. And so we also estimated that a portion of that water main loop or all of that water main loop is within 1/2 mile of the district boundaries, not physically on the district boundaries as well. The construction is phased out over 3 years with substantial construction being done in 2027, but starting in 2026 with obviously you'll see footings and foundations and things going in, wrapping up in construction year 28. As we've mentioned in the other districts we've created, you need to be mindful that construction year is a 2-year lag between valuation year and when the district will start to receive those taxes, and I will outline that in our increment calculation and our cash flow. This is our increment calculation, and this kind of demonstrates that things constructed within construction year 26 are valued as of January 1st of 2027, and the city will receive the tax increment revenue on that in 2028. And so that's where we kind of get our final increment year of 2046, understanding that 2047's budget would be the final year funded by the district. The city does plan to take on general obligation debt to fund the infrastructure projects. We're showing it as one debt issuance taking place in 2026 that may be split up into different debt issuances based off of the timing and the need for those projects and those costs. But as of right now, they'd be funded through the 2026 debt issuance. This is the kind of the culmination of our practice over the last few months. Moving from left to right is the revenue received in the district. The Sargento Development Incentive is calculated after debt service and after ongoing planning administration costs. So the village or the city's obligations are met before there's anything that would be then given back to Sargento as a development incentive. But we're estimating that $28.9 million of total revenue throughout the district and $26 million in expenses throughout that district life. Our projections right now are showing that the district could close in 18 of its 20 useful years. But obviously a lot will change between now and 20 years from now. Tax rates will change, valuations will change, and that will be evaluated on an ongoing basis. We will be recommending to the Joint Review Board that they set the statutory closure date, which is now required at post-Act 12 TIF changes in 2024. Now require the Joint Review Board to set a closure date. We'll be recommending that they set a closure date of 2047, which is the statutory life of the district. And then just kind of the final wrap up is that the overlying taxing jurisdictions portions that are foregone during the life of the district, just to give you a clear understanding of kind of what is the contributions or the buy-in that the other taxing jurisdictions are willing to give to facilitate this project in this district. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Kayla. It is quite a undertaking for a project of this size, and the process of getting from today, 21 years later, certainly has a long range of things that come along. I assume that part of your analysis took into account the historical numbers that the city has had in its increment in the past to arrive at your calculations.
We did it, we took great effort and great concern to make sure that the city would still be represented as great community partners with Sargento and wanting to show that the city was determined to have Sargento stay within Plymouth. And that was a thoughtful position we took throughout the development agreement negotiations and the creation of this plan.
Okay, good, excellent. At this point, if the council has any questions of Kayla in the presentation, Alder Binder?
I just wanted to tell you that I spent a big part of the weekend reading through all this stuff, but I kept getting interrupted by the Olympics, so it took a long time to get through
Fascinating
it.
reading.
But it really looks good. You looked at the final numbers and stuff. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Thank you very much. We appreciate it. At this point, the chair will entertain a motion on resolution number 2 as presented.
Mayor,
Alder Metzdorf.
I move to approve resolution number 2, establishing the boundaries and approving the project plan for TID number 9.
I'll second her motion.
Thank you, Alder Telschek. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Gilson,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Township,
Yes.
Hawkey,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Peckwitz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item B, resolution number 3, resolution consideration and possible action on a resolution creating tax incremental district number 10, approving its project plan and establishing its boundaries. Once again, I'll ask our city administrator, Tim, to start the discussion. Tim?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be a little bit of deja vu, but TID number 10 is a TID in the southwestern portion of the community designated as a mixed-use district, both north and south of Highway 67. TID number 10 is intended to support the 119 single-family lot subdivision by Newman Development and a 50-unit multifamily development by Pre-3. So pay-grow increment in this TID will be primarily used to construct subdivision-related public infrastructure. We discussed this at the last meeting when the Common Council approved the development agreement with Newman. So attached is TID number 10 project plan, which Kayla will go through in just a moment. But again, this proposed development is intended to generate approximately $57.1 million of new incremental value over the district's life. Again, the Newman development agreement was approved by the council just at the last meeting, and we'll be having a pre-3 development likely consideration in March or April pending these negotiations. Strategic plan alignment, TID number 10 advances the outcome of expanded economic development, TIF district utilization, and increased housing options for all. Plan Commission did unanimously recommend TID number 10 at the January 15th, 2026 meeting. Very similar to TID number 9, the Joint Review Board did also review and provided general feedback to proceed, and will consider this at February 26th, subject to Common Council's final approval. So staff does recommend approval of resolution number 3, creating tax increment district number 10. Happy to answer any questions, but I'll turn it over to Kayla for a presentation.
I will skip a lot of the things I talked about last time, just to give you an understanding of the orientation of this and kind of highlight why the boundaries are much larger than just the project site alone. This is what I'm kind of outlining here with my mouse, is where the Newman development will be. This is where Pre-3 will be. State statute required or only allows you to have up to 35% of the district acreage allowed for newly platted residential. And since none of this area had ever been platted, we needed to bring in enough area to drive down this parcel to 35% of the total acreage of the district. So to do that, we annexed the property to the south, and then we brought up the condos to the north. I wanted to specifically highlight the condos to the north because right now those are fully built out and occupied and owned. Therefore, all of the value that is currently contained is, in essentially, you can think of maxed out, meaning that will stay on the tax roll. There will be no kind of detriment to the tax roll in the overlying taxing jurisdictions by bringing in existing residences to the district. Now, let's say one of those burns down and it gets rebuilt in the next 20 years, that new increment would go into the district. But for all intents and purposes, there's no value lost off of the tax roll by bringing in those condos to the north. Very similar to Sargento is there's a number of allocations of project costs to this district. Though there are more unfunded in this district because the fact that Newman alone is installing primarily the infrastructure to serve their property, and I'll talk about that and how that factors into the incentive as well. But there's just a few projects that I can't even see now. Water main extension, sanitary force main, and then an allocation to do the wastewater treatment plant are the only publicly funded projects through the district. All other projects that are necessary to facilitate the construction of the single-family homes and the multifamily homes are being installed by Newman themselves. Same kind of phasing. The Newman project build is to be built over 5 years. Newman, I think, admitted to you all, admitted to us that it is a very aggressive timeline, but can be substantiated by their past performance in other communities. And so we've built this out using their projected timeline of 23 houses to be built in 26, 21 and 27, 29 and 28, 20 and 29, and 26 and 30, for a total of 119 homes over the next 5 years with a value of $447.6 million. Pre-3 is projecting a 3-year build out, about $9.5 million, fully online by the end of construction year 2028. And how that projects forward is really an understanding of kind of how those things put together. A different calculation, there's 2 different calculations in this project plan than in the Sargento project plan. One, we applied an economic appreciation factor, understanding that residential properties, either single family or multifamily, appreciate more than industrial and manufacturing properties. And so we built in a natural appreciation for that, and then the incentive is calculated differently as well. We have small debt issuance. This will be wrapped up. The public improvement projects, just shy of $1 million, will be wrapped up into the city's 2026 debt issue. And then same kind of picture moving left to right, tax increment generation, the debt proceeds. The MRO number 1 is paid before debt service and before administration fees. That's Newman's MRO. And that was agreed upon because they are taking on all the risk to install roughly $9 million of public infrastructure on their own. And so they will be doing that, and the majority of their incentive is to pay for that public infrastructure, which will then be dedicated back to the city and owned by the city. And then the pre-3 is a shorter term, a higher percentage, but a shorter term payout, really to bridge that gap between their financing ability to raise and what they need. It's just a shy of $2 million. We're also projecting, well, this could close in 19 of the 20 allowable years, but obviously could stay open for all 20 years. And we will be recommending to the JRB that they set the statutory deadline of 2047 as the closure year. And then to just give you again a general understanding of what this district means for the overlying taxing jurisdictions, about $17 million in total that the other taxing jurisdictions are applying into the project or foregoing over the time of the district's life. I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
Thank you, Kayla. I think it's very important to point out one of your opening comments regarding TIF number 10, in that the current tax assessment on the properties to the north continues to be paid at its current valuation to the taxing authorities, and that is not altered by the fact that it's in the TIF district.
Correct.
That's an important concept, as all values are frozen at the point of creation, just as the cornfield is frozen at its valuation. So there is substantial value in those properties, and that continues to stay there.
Correct. And
those taxes come to the four taxing authorities that that share that tax. So I think that's very important to
Yeah,
point
and one
out.
thing I just want to mention, just so everyone's clear, the parcels to the south were annexed recently and within the last 3 years. And so the district will have to pay property taxes back to the town for a period of 3 years, but I think we estimate it's like $500. So wasn't something we were super concerned about, but it is required by statute that we pay back property taxes for a 3-year period.
Correct. Okay, any questions or comments from the council on Kayla? Again, we appreciate very much the work that your staff and our staff put into it. A lot of details go into something like this, and it's got a lot of dotted Ts and crossed Is, I guess, or a variation thereof. So we appreciate all of the different work that's done. With that, the chair will entertain a motion on resolution number 3, consideration and possible action on establishing TIF District Number 10 boundaries.
Mayor, I'd like to move that we approve resolution number 3, creating tax incremental district number 10, approving its project plan and establishing its boundaries.
Thank you, Alderman. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Alder Penquist. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Eckwitz,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Batstorf,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Hawkey,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Toshik.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate all the work that's gone into these 2 tax districts. Combined, they are quite a bundle. So it'll definitely have its effect on the community. Moving on to new business, discussion and possible action on Sargento Development Agreement approval. I'll ask Tim Blakely for a opening comment and discussion. And before I turn the floor over to Tim, I do want to say I appreciate all your hard work in kind of steamrolling this thing hands-on, day and night. It's an incredible effort, and I think both of these point out the dedication that you put into your work as city administrator. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mayor, and kudos to Attorney Bieber and the rest of our city staff. They put a lot of time into this as well, so it's just not a one-person show. So kudos all around, and really big improvements for the community. So it's good to hear. But just as a comment regarding 7A, which is a development agreement with Sargento Cheese LLC. Staff has been in discussions with Sargento for construction of the new manufacturing facility for about a year. The proposed facility is approximately 384,000 square feet with an approximate assessed value of $88.2 million with a target completion of 2029. The development agreement would again coincide with the establishment of TID number 9, which just appeared prior and was approved on the agenda. This development is anticipated to be the largest single development in Plymouth's history. So in June of 2025, Sargento did submit a TIF application for the new facility and then revised that in October of 25. Again, work with city staff, city attorney, and Ellers to develop terms that represent the development and our infrastructure needs. As of last Friday, staff and Sargento have agreed to a tentative agreement, which is in your packet. Under the proposed framework, Sargento will support a city borrowing of approximately $6 million in principal for infrastructure projects. We've talked about those related in the TID, but that's 75% of a water main loop, 27% of a new community drinking well, 53% of the sanitary force main, 33% of a facility study, which is going to be later on in your agenda, and 50% of a filtration system at the treatment plant. In summary, these are major infrastructure upgrades that support both this new facility, but also just increased system resiliency. In return, Sargento receives an 85% municipal revenue obligation, and as Kayla mentioned, this is after debt and administrative fees, up to a total cap of $12 million. So as we talked about, the TID increment is first applied to the debt and the administration fees, and then applied to Sargento's MRO. The current estimate of that is $11.6 million using the current assessed value. I think it's important to note that this agreement also includes a deficiency or shortfall payment should the debt service obligations not be able to be met because of just some timing delays or assessed value is lower than projected. So that means Sargento would cover any remaining costs in those deficiency payments. But then also if deficiency payments are made and the project is ultimately assessed at a higher level at the end of the district, those deficiency payments would be returned. The agreement includes general provisions on assignability, remedies, costs, terms, and other customary development agreement provisions. So city staff, city attorney, and Ellers are comfortable with the agreement as presented. Very excited to present this to council. It really establishes a long-term partnership that supports major industrial investment in Plymouth while advancing community-wide priorities. Related to our strategic plan, it expands the outcome of expanded economic development, TIF district utilization, and sufficient finances for future needs. So staff does recommend approval of the development agreement as presented.
Thank you. At this point, the chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
Mayor,
Alder Binder?
I'll move approval of the development agreement with Sargento Cheese Incorporated.
I'll second.
Thank you, Alder Matzdorf. We have a first and a second. Any discussion, any questions of Tim? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Gilson,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Tauschik,
Yes.
Hockey,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Matzdorf,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Penkowitz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And again, thanks for all the hard work
Thank you.
that, up to like a year now. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, we got there though. It's a good project.
But it's a good project, thank you. Moving on to item B, discussion and possible action on extraterritorial certified survey map, CSM, for W 5996 Sumac Road, parcel numbers 5901-6222-311 and 5901-6222-351, located on Sumac Road in the town of Plymouth. Tonight we have Jack Johnson, our Assistant City Administrator, to give us some information. Jack?
Sure, appreciate this, Mayor. This is another extraterritorial CSM, the town of Plymouth, that's in the 1.5-mile buffer surrounding the city. This is owned by Randall and Denise Prongy. They own 2 parcels of land and are seeking a 1-lot CSM. Currently, the way the lots are configured, the lot lines of the 2 lots basically bisect their home, and they're trying to create a clean 1-lot CSM that includes their home and their outbuilding. The other lot is unplatted, is essentially agricultural land and I think some wetlands. In total, the 1-lot CSM is just over 5 acres, I believe, and the unplatted lot they own is, I believe, in the 30-acre range. This was at Town of Plymouth and approved on January 13th, was at our Planning Commission last week and was recommended for approval. They're working with Sheboygan County for their approval as well. Staff did a review and does recommend approval tonight. Happy to answer any questions though.
Thank you very much. Chair will ask Alder Matzdorf for a motion on item B, discussion and action on extraterritorial CSM.
I'd like to move to approve the extraterritorial CSM on Sumac Road as stated.
I'll second her motion.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Penkowitz,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Matzdorf,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Hockey,
Yes.
Tauschik,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Gilson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item C, discussion and possible approval of purchase of AEDs from AED Superstore. I'll ask Tim Blakely for a brief comment. Tim?
Yeah, so just as part of an inspection of city emergency equipment, staff has determined that several AEDs have reached end of life and need to be replaced. Staff does recommend also adding AED coverage at the pool and the golf course. Obviously, we have a lot of public in those areas, so I think it would be important to have AEDs in those areas. A total of 12 devices, 8 for PD vehicles, 1 for library, 1 for city hall, and 1 each at the pool and the golf course. This was not included in the current budget, but can be funded through our contingency funding. The timing is appropriate. Just this past week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, the police department did successfully deploy an AED as part of a life-saving event. So the AEDs are also compatible by the model used in our EMS providers, which supports quicker integration as they get handed off to the ambulance. So we did get 3 quotes and recommends moving forward with AED Superstore in the amount of $14,532, funded out of contingency. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion for purchase of the AEDs as indicated.
I move to approve the purchase of AEDs from AED Superstore.
Thank you, Alder Penquitz.
I'll second.
Thank you, Alder Harmon. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Penkwitz,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Hawky.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item D, discussion and possible action on wastewater treatment plan facility plan, professional service agreement. Kathy Austin, our director, fill us in, please.
Yeah, so before you is a proposal from Mead and Hunt. So as part of the long-term planning, the growth, and regulatory compliance, as you heard tonight, both on Ellers and Mr. Blakesley's presentations, a facilities plan for the wastewater treatment plant is needed. So the plan is a 20-year forecast of our city, so it looks at not only the existing developments that we know are happening in the next 5 years, but it also looks at the current land uses in our area and do a projection of our 20-year flow. So this is a very comprehensive plan. Our last one was done in the 90s, so it is way older than 20 years old. In order to be eligible, if we do look at some of the potential facility plan for the treatment plant, in order to be eligible for some of the DNR funding, you do have to have an updated, facilities plan. So again, Mead and Hunt has been working with the treatment plant for the last 4 years. They've done a lot of our recent projects. They've done some studies of our existing facilities, so they are very well versed in our current facility. So again, before you tonight is the not to exceed service agreement with Mead and Hunt for $144,000. That will be spread over 3. So we have funding in the capital improvement plan for this year, and then also split up between the 2 newly created TIDs.
Thank you, Director Austin. I think it's important to point out that this allocation for the upgrade is between TID 9, TID 10, and our utility capital plan. So there's a benefit pro rata to all of those different parts. Chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss. Alder Tauschek.
I would make a motion to approve the professional service agreement with Mead and Hunt in the amount not to exceed $144,400.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Alder Binder.
So this professional service plan is just gonna take care of the facility itself, the wastewater treatment plant. I'm thinking about the kind of issues we may have, I don't know if it's true, but where stormwater is getting into our wastewater. That's something that's a completely separate issue as far as trying to figure that out.
Yep, this will look at the growth of what our treatment plant facility might need to be.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Binder,
Yes.
Penkwitz,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Tauschek,
Yes.
Hawky,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Matsdorf.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item E, discussion and possible action on farmland use lease agreements. Tim, I'll ask you to give us a brief summary on
Yeah,
that,
very brief
please.
summary on this. This is the property right behind the wastewater treatment plant. The person who had been farming this parcel has retired. The other individual who's taking over farming that parcel and other parcels for this person has reached out to update the farmland lease. So we worked with Attorney Feber on finalizing the agreement language as presented. This is a one-year agreement that continues until notice of cancellation by either party. Happy to answer any questions, but staff does recommend approval.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion for action on farmland use lease agreement.
I move to approve the farmland use lease agreement.
Thank you, Alder Penquitz.
Second is motion.
Thank you, Alder Telschek. We have a first and a second. Any discussion? This is a one-year lease,
One-year lease that then continues
just renewal.
renewal. Yep.
Yep. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Tauscher,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Binder,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Hawkey,
Yes.
Penkwitz,
Yes.
Matsdorf, Sandy.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you all for participating tonight. It's been a historic night on approving TID.